Last night, my sister-in-law called just to pray for me over the phone. And I started to think about how when we can't meet someone's need physically, we can't be face to face with somebody across the table or side by side, we often resort to prayer and it becomes a greater priority. And sometimes we even might think of it as like I'm resigning myself to, I guess all I can do is pray. And I love the fact that during this time of separation, God is going to do something. God is going to produce something out of this moment in history. Because if we look at anyone who can relate to this situation in the New Testament, it's Paul. And out of Paul's house arrest came so much of the New Testament. Out of his imprisonment, his separation from the people he loved, came these letters that we have today. And within those letters are prayers that he prayed for those people that he wasn't able to be face to face with. And so I don't know about you, but I've been frustrated sometimes about the level of prayer requests that I bring to God. And I know God cares about the new job, the health, the safety of people I love. But what about on a deeper level, on a heart level, what should I be praying for? Especially from a distance when I'm not sure of their circumstances, exactly what's going on in the day-to-day. What should I be praying for? And Paul, his prayers are full of the different directions that we could go in prayer for people. He talks about things like God's call in life, completing that calling. He prays for eternal perspective, for influence in their community. He prays for spiritual growth, response to the gospel, boldness in sharing the gospel. And I want to incorporate his prayer into my prayer. I want to take what Paul has a desire for and use it when I pray for people that I love. And so I just wanted to practically give an example of how we can keep our hearts focused in prayer, dedicated, and watchful over the things that matter in people's lives. And so I just wanted to illustrate what I have used before and what has helped me. I just went out and got a notebook, plain blank sheets inside. You could probably find it in like the art section for people who draw. And they have no lines in them. Because what is helpful to me is I get the notebook and then I turn it this direction and I cut it in half so that half the pages are on one side and half are on the other. And on the one side, I put people's names and then their requests, either that I've heard from them or that I know about their lives. And so their name is at the top, this one side, and then the request at the underneath their name. On the other side, I write down some of Paul's prayers so that I can flip through people's names in a day and pray for the same scripture regarding those people's situations. And that way, I'm not just praying for what they've asked for prayer about, I'm also praying what Paul might pray for them. And in the meantime, it forces me to be looking at scripture, to be incorporating scripture into my own life because I'm meditating on this verse. I'm consumed with this verse for maybe 7 or 8 people that I pray for in that day. And I become much more aware of what Paul's request would be and what God's desires are. And then it also helps me to link what their temporary request might be with what a spiritual need could be. For example, if someone's praying about a new job, I may have the verse for that day might be something like praying for contentment. And so I can link the fact that there's a heart issue that is related to a temporal need. And that just helps me. It's just one way, and I have so far to go in this, but if it can be helpful to you, that would be awesome. Just another template for prayer that we can use based on the life of Paul.